And you can be either
Well,
one
we
of
are
the
live,
hosts.
Jim.
Hey,
Yes,
welcome.
we
Thank
are
you for having me.
live. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday to everyone. And gosh, I am so looking forward to this conversation that I have set up for us today with Jim Bilello from US Marketing Incorporated. And what we're going to talk about today, guys, is why SEO and social media alone fail to get you on page one of Google for the most competitive searches. So, we are going to have a conversation around how Google Ads, SEO, and social media all work together to support your online presence. I know this is a highly, highly compelling topic, Jim, because my clients work so very hard. They're incredible at what they do. They work very hard at creating that powerful online presence, and so they're always looking for tips and tricks and
Yep.
strategy to help move things forward. Because here's the deal: they're awesome at what they do as health professionals. They want to help people, right?
Right.
They don't
Right.
want to be spending half their lives, on social media and doing all those things. So, guys, that is what we're going to talk about today. And so, welcome to everyone that's joining us live. I'm thrilled to have you with me here today. Also, big warm welcome to all of you that are going to catch this on the replay. So, for those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is Lesli Show, and I am a business strategist specifically for health and wellness entrepreneurs who want to attract more clients, sell more programs, and ultimately grow a profitable practice, integrating multiple streams of revenue. So, with that little bit of background, let's go ahead and jump in, guys. We have got a lot of really juicy content in store for you today. So, without further ado, I'd love to introduce my guest today, Jim Bilello. And Jim, let's kick things off by maybe having you share a little bit about
Sure.
yourself, your
Sure.
background, and how did you move into this
Yeah.
amazing role?
Yeah.
It's obviously, you know this, it's very, very specialized. And not a lot of people know the stuff that you know, which is pretty awesome. So, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Sure. So I got into being a Google agency partner in 2011. I was standing in the Denver airport, and like a lot of the people listening, my cell phone rang, and somebody said they were calling from Google. And I laughed. I said, okay, I'm hanging up now. And the person said, please don't hang up. This is real. We've noticed your work with the state of Illinois on Facebook for Don't Text and Drive ads. We'd like to invite you to become a Google agency partner. And I said, really, what's involved? And she explained that they would put me up at the Intercontinental on Michigan Avenue for 2 days, and I'd train with their engineers. Now, that was at the beginning of the Google Agency Partner Program. And I really had no idea what was to come. But here we are 10 years later. And I'll just share a little bit on my screen, if you don't mind. Would that be
Yep,
okay? All
I
right.
can let you do that. I think you do.
So
I
I'm going
think
to share the
I do
screen.
it, and then
Yeah.
yep.
And I will share
uh,
this page here. Is everybody able to see that okay?
I can see it.
Perfect. So this is our website at usmarketing.bz. B like boy, Z like zebra, just those two letters. And just a few things to make the audience aware of. First of all, right here in the middle, we're one of the few agencies that will actually show people inside their real Google Ads accounts. Many agencies will just give you a dashboard and a report. We'll do that too. But we have a separation, if you will, between what you're paying for advertising and our management fee. So we work almost exactly like your accountant. It's tax time. We all dread that, of course, but many of us have learned that tax preparation is a complex specialty. And so your CPA will charge you a fee to file your taxes, and you will pay the government your taxes. Well, that's a great analogy for what we do. You're going to pay Google directly for your advertising. So if your budget is $500 a month or $5,000 a month, our top client spends over $200,000 a month, and our lowest level clients spend $500. So we do run the gamut. We have a lot of people in healthcare. We have everything from doctors and oral surgeons and dentists to MRI clinics to, surprisingly, what am I going to say? Health and nutrition experts and people who are functional nutritionists. And that's kind of how you and I met, Leslie.
Right.
So,
we have a shared client, and really appreciate her introducing me to you and to your work.
One couple other things that I want to make sure the audience knows. A lot of people put these funny looking badges on their website. These badges must be hypertext linked. So if you do have the time to go to usmarketing.bz, B like boy, Z like zebra, and you click on that link, it will take you to google.com/partners, where you have your agency's profile. Without that, it's just a funny looking badge, and it does not. Was the audience able to see this? Okay, Leslie.
I can see it. Can you guys all see?
Yeah.
Let's take a peek at.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, guys, give me a comment and just confirm that you can see Jim's screen. All right.
Because I'm feeling like, I think what happened is when I shared, it does. Oh, here it is. I got the option, share this tab instead. Now you can see.
All right. Welcome everybody. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. Everyone can see.
Yeah. So anyway, when you click on the badge, that's where it takes you to the agency's google.com/agency profile. So without that, then it is just a funny looking badge. Okay. A couple other things to be aware of. First of all, we do have some great 5-star testimonials, dozens of them, because we have been doing this for over 10 years. And we have a really good staff of young people who have graduated Indiana University Kelley School of Business. We have staff, actually, this is a young medical student at Northwestern University, that work on the accounts alongside of me. And finally, I would just tell you that the real value of Google Ads is not what you're paying your agency, it's whether you get results. So I know we have a lot more content to cover, but I thought that would be a great place to start.
Absolutely. Okay, let's dig in. So, all right. So you got started. Basically, the crux of the story is that Google reached out to you directly and invited you into this special role,
yes,
right, as a Google agency partner. And it was based on your prior work that you did in Illinois, right? Which is amazing.
Absolutely.
So, okay. And that was 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago. So here we are now, 10 years later, and I have easily 10,000 hours of experience.
Amazing. Okay. So, and you showed us that Google badge because if I'm understanding correctly, that shows that you're a legitimate Google partner, right?
Yeah, we have to pass certifications every 12 months. The certification tests run 90 minutes. The questions are changed every year, and you only have an hour to an hour and 20 minutes to choose the questions. You can't skip, pause, or go back. So even if you were trying to look answers up, you really have to know the information. And I'm sure that many of your practitioners feel strongly about their certifications, all those letters behind their names. They work hard for that, and that shows the legitimacy of your knowledge base.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's dig in a little bit more. I want to ask you, it seems like there's an awful lot of confusion in the market about what search engine optimization actually is.
Yes, there is.
It's a very, very highly specialized area. And most of us normal people barely scratch the surface, right? In terms of really wrapping our minds around what it is and what it can do and what it can't do. Can you comment on that?
Sure. Yeah, as a matter of fact,
department.
as a couple of years ago, because I got this question so much, whether I was in networking groups or on Zoom meetings, whatever it may be, that I put this particular document together that I'd like to show the
Okay.
audience right now. So let's see if I can queue up that document. Oh, let's see, can I find it? I'm looking at the screens and it doesn't look like it'll, oh, window, let's see. Here we go. Got it.
Okay.
Just not used to this particular piece of software, but we have persevered. You should be looking at the digital media Venn diagram, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So I put this together a couple of years ago because the Venn diagram, as you probably know, has these circles, and the nexus of the circle describes where the confluence of SEO, social media, and paid search come together. So there's a lot of confusion in the market. People frequently refer to SEO as everything digital. Not so much. So you can see in the little box here, search engine optimization is actually, and you can see it, you can understand it because it's not paid, right? This is the art and science of being on page one of Google without an ad. And we'll look at some of those searches when we're done with this diagram.
Okay.
But for general searches of your service, that do not include your practice's name or your location is very difficult to rank. So if you're just looking for functional nutritionist, if you type that into Google, there's going to be literally millions of results. Or with some of the clients, Leslie, that you've referred to me that have signed up already, they may specialize in diabetes control, or they may specialize in a liver disease of some sort to help people with that. So when you're typing in those kinds of searches, very difficult to appear there again if they don't know your practice's name or your location. So should you do SEO? Of course. Should you have blog posts, backlinks, all those good things? Of course. But it's still hard to be on page one for those general searches. Then you mentioned at the top of the show, Leslie, your audience is very busy. They're practitioners. They're trying to run their webinars and their coaching and their one-on-ones with their clients. And do they have time to post 5 times a day on Facebook, LinkedIn? No, they don't. Should they? Yes. And many of them have social media marketers who will post for them. But social media in its purest form is not advertising either. Of course, you can do promoted posts and you can do campaigns, and you probably should do some of that. However, if in its pure form on Google, which is the undisputed leader in search, you're typing in these searches for a functional nutritionist, or how do I control my liver disease, or how do I lower my glucose in a healthy way, that's where the paid ads can show up. And so the nexus of these 3 circles is really the sweet spot. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, I'd like to put that out to the audience. Does that all make sense to you guys?
Or are there any questions that?
Yeah. Any questions about that? It's really, so it's very complex. Okay. There's a little bit of lag time in terms of
Yeah, it's okay.
when people type in their questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have a question, curious about backlinks.
Yeah. So I am an expert in Google Ads, not SEO. However, backlinks is the way that people can have traffic directed from one website to another. And there are many forms of backlinks. So when you hire an SEO person, which is not my expertise, I have really good strategic partners who work with me on SEO. There's this thing called follow and no follow, and the domain authority of where the links are. In fact, I just saw a question on a trade journal this morning before I joined from SEM Rush that was asking, why do I have 6,000 backlinks and I don't see them on my reports? And the reason is that there's sometimes a lag. Sometimes those links don't show up, and the quality of the links determines the quality of the traffic. So maybe that's not exactly what you were asking, but that's an overview.
Okay. And then when we ask, does this make sense?
Yeah, it is still confusing.
There may be some confusion.
Let's do this. Let's do a live search.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that adds value to this type of a program. So I'll start to share my screen again. And we will share this new tab. So this is just my screensaver that has links and stuff, but it is Google search. So my default search engine, being a Google partner, is Google search. So let's do a search for functional. Here's one being suggested, medicine. We can look at that one. We can have your audience suggest other searches as well. So my computer knows that I'm in the northern Chicago suburbs, and I want to call your attention to two things. First of all, this is 921 million results in 0.71 seconds. All right. Does anybody know how many SEO non-ad listings there are on page 1? I'll give everyone a minute or two to answer. So the question is, how many non-ad listings are there on page 1 of Google? I'll give you guys another 10 or 20 seconds, see if anybody answers. I should offer a prize. If anybody gets this right, I'll give you a free Google. 10 is right. So you see that. So you see the. That's it.
Woo!
Yeah. So I'll give her. I'll give that person.
How do you do that, Nora?
A free analytics analysis. You can connect with
me
afterwards.
Nora.
Yeah. So here we have a paid ad from Aligned Modern Health. And now we have some SEO listings. So we have Institute for Functional Medicine, that's 1, Cleveland Clinic 2. Now we have this thing called the map. So many of you who understand SEO a little bit understand that Google does offer a Google My Business free map listing, and this is very helpful on mobile. However, many of my clients will ask me, well, how come I'm not here? The reason is there's this thing called More Places. So if we click on More Places, we have all these other places throughout Chicago. Now, what's interesting here, which you may not have realized, is that we can put Google pay-per-click ads right here too. So here we have sponsored Aligned Modern Health, and we have sponsored Compass Health Center. These folks are not necessarily in the geography, but they can have their Google Ads account connected to their Google My Business listing. And that has the advantage, if they're not on page 1, again, of showing up if somebody clicks. Now, that's another thing some people don't understand. You don't pay for the ads to be shown. You only pay if they click. And there's a lot of information you can get up here. So now there's these 10 listings, not including the map. So we're just kind of scrolling down here, and there is another one at the bottom from wildhealth.com, functional medicine near you. Now, this is interesting, right? Because you can see the organic listings don't necessarily offer things like deals with a code or links to how it works, about us, get started today. This is another advantage of having Google Ads. Does anybody else want to suggest another search? And we can do one more to illustrate why Google Ads are important.
Yeah. Would it be like a specific area?
No, it doesn't have to be. If they have a specific area, like, for example, I've done these searches for some of our mutual clients, Lesli, in the Orlando area, and I put in like liver disease or liver, holistic treatments in the Orlando area. So if somebody's got a specific area, there you go. Nutritionist Sarasota. Perfect. All right. So let's see what happens. Nutritionist Sarasota. So we hit enter, and we've got 8,560,000 results in 0.42 seconds. The map listings came up first, and again, there's 3. If yours is one of the 3, woohoo, you win. And then we have the organic or SEO listings. So we have Bright Body, London Wellness, Yelp, of course, Sarasota Memorial Hospital, Health Profs, DSign, etc. And then we get to the bottom, and here is a pay-per-click Google ad from heatherbauer.com, personal nutritionist. If that's one of you in the audience, congratulations. You are doing the right thing, because here is your ad on page 1. And again, I would call to your attention, that's out of 8,560,000 results with only 10 listings on page 1. Does anybody play the lottery? So what's your chance of being one of those 10 without an ad for this general search? And that is why I put together that Venn diagram.
Okay.
Very hard to show up for this general search without an ad. I hope that kind of helps clarify that diagram.
Okay. Okay. So what if Nora had, I don't know, a blog post, that was on a topic that a lot of people search for?
So that's a great question. The subject of a lot is a question. So sometimes a very specific blog post will show up if somebody's doing a very specific search. However, the more specific or the more keywords that somebody's entering into the search, the smaller the audience is. The more general, because people are lazy, and so they sometimes don't know exactly what they need. They're just typing in nutritionist, functional medicine, whatever. That's where there's going to be too much competition for probably that blog post to show up. I'm not saying it can't, but in general, SEO can take several months to a year to even begin to show up, whereas Google Ads has the advantage of being there immediately. So depends on the post, depends on how many people are searching for the specifics in that post. Should she do the post? Absolutely. Will it work? Don't know. Depends on the search volume and the specificity of those searches.
Okay.
This, by the way, brings up something else. Some SEO professionals are less than forthcoming about their profession. So they may, and I'm going to make something up that hopefully the audience will find cute. So they may say, look, you showed up at the top of page 1 for zebras crossing the street during a full moon. And I'm exaggerating. But again, if you're being very specific, oh, it's fantastic.
Right.
The thing is, now I'll give you another example. I worked with an audiologist a few years ago who said to me, well, I'm showing up for hearing audiology testing in Chicago. And I put that into a piece of software that I had. And I said, this is wonderful. However, there's less than 100 people in the Chicago area searching for that long search. What they're really searching for is hearing test. And so that one you're not showing up for because it's too general. So this is what happens. If fewer people are typing in very specific things, yeah, you'll be there. But how many people will actually be there? I can do consultations with you where I can use my software as a Google partner to see exactly how many queries for keywords every month for the last 12 months.
Okay. And that is different software than the rest of us have access to.
Yes and no. So
Google,
if you have a Google ad account running, then you will have access to something called Keyword Manager, or Keyword Planner. However, you have to know how to use Keyword Planner, and this might be a time for me to share my screen again and just show you that, because I was meeting with someone this morning in a different industry, and we were doing a keyword plan. So let's see. Here it is right here. So I was meeting with the owner. You can see this. Yes, it says Google Ads Keyword Plan at the top. Okay. So I was meeting this morning in my office in Lake Forest with the owner of this company, and he provides review management. And he is tech savvy as he is, wasted thousands of dollars in the past year because he didn't know how to set up Google Ads.
Okay.
So it did this plan for him, and you can see that this plan is just in the Chicago area. Now, one of the things I just mentioned is that Google Keyword Planner does have live search results for the last 12 months. However, let's reload it. See, the engineers are at work. Every week we get this several times a week where they change the interface. So what we can see in Chicago is that 10 times management review has 0 searches. 10 times reviews has 10 searches. Business Google reviews has 590 searches. So you have to know how to use Keyword Planner. And also, if you want some of these more competitive keywords, you could be at the bottom of the page for $3 per click, top of the page for $13. So when I put these words into Keyword Planner, I consult with you, the business owner, to develop a plan. And I actually then show you these are the keywords that are working. Whereas some of these down here, like increase reviews, it's not even 1 click a month. So you have to know your geography. You have to know the keywords. There's this thing called match types, which means we could make it a very tight exact match or a broad match. But that's not always the best thing to do, because Google has really smart artificial intelligence. So it's a lot of times better to start broader and then narrow it. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into the weeds. The way you read this plan is that if this person paid Google directly, not including my fees, $750, his ads would show up on page 1 2,800 times for these keywords and related searches. And it's anticipated he would get 196 clicks to his landing page. Google Search Engine Watch is a third party that does benchmark conversion data. It's anticipated there'd be a 2.87% conversion rate. So out of 196 clicks, there might be 6 conversions. Then we can put in an average value per conversion. So I'm talking to the man this morning and I said, you only charge $79? He says it's $79 a month. I said, oh, well, what's the average length of time that somebody stays with you? He says 6 months. Okay, so if we multiply 80 by 6, that's more like $480. So if we put that metric in here, now this plan suddenly starts to work, because it's anticipated you get $2,700 in value in exchange for your $750.
Oh, I love that.
So this is how we build up plans that make sense. And for those of you that have run businesses, you understand this is key. Otherwise, again, the real cost of Google Ads is not what you pay me. It's whether you're getting results. If you don't put the right keywords, build it right, use the right bidding strategy, the right geography, and know how to optimize to block things you don't want, you'll just pay Google a lot of money and not get results. And many people on this call may have experienced that.
Yeah. How many people have tried to run Google Ads? I'd be curious.
Well, Google has literally millions of accounts. That's how it became an $80 billion a year company.
Exactly.
And so there's millions and millions of accounts. And I do get a lot of business by auditing people's accounts, tried it themselves. In fact, I have an iTunes podcast called Google Smart Campaigns Aren't Always So Smart. So Google makes it easy for you to get started, but then I'll get a call about 6 months into it. They'll be like, I'm not getting any results. I'm like, oh, it's the Smart Campaign. You can't get granular enough to actually optimize properly.
Exactly. Okay, so Nora wants to know what that service is that you just looked at.
The review management?
Yeah. Is that Google Review?
Yeah, so I would, so that review management company that I'm doing a plan for, he's going to pay me to set up Google Ads for himself. I'm just now initiating a more formal relationship with him. So I would ask that person to connect with me offline, and then I'll be happy to refer you directly. And there are many review management companies out there. This one is good, but that doesn't mean there are others who aren't good as well. And I can give you 2 or 3 names.
Perfect. Ooh, great question. How many months does it take using Google Ads to see results? For example, do you do 2 to 3 months at a time with ads and then stop, or do they really do they need to be continuous?
It's a great question. And the answer is you will get results in your first couple of months with a properly set up and optimized campaign. One of the hallmarks of US marketing is we do not require long-term contracts. It's 3 months minimum. If you hate me after that or you hate Google Ads, you can opt out. But we'll put together a plan that will be within the budget you're willing to risk. And I use that word intentionally. This is advertising. So if your service is working right now for clients you have, advertising will enhance that. If your price and your service is not working, no advertising is going to make a difference. So assuming you've got a good business model that's working, you'll get results in the first couple of months, and we'll optimize, and then you can always give Google more money to scale up and get more leads.
Okay. And why don't we talk a little bit about like where are you running that? Like, what is your call to action for the ads? Your recommended CTA.
Yeah. So one of the things that your audience may or may not know, and I'll show you, was just working to help another person who runs a children's daycare in Texas. And I'll show you what the public sees as his ads.
Okay.
Because Google has an ad type. I'll share my screen again.
Okay.
This is inside a real Google account, and sharing screen. Let's make sure I got the right one. Okay. So you should be able to see this ad here in the middle. Now this ad is a responsive search ad. This is Google's latest ad type. This has just happened in the past 18 months or so. What used to be called expanded text ads have now gone away. And one of the things that we do, why we get paid, is you can see this ad strength is being given an excellent ad strength. Why is it excellent? Because the keywords that we put into the campaign are the ones that are most searched for in this little city of Allen, Texas. So he's not going all over Texas. He's right there in Allen. And we're allowed, in addition to putting in the landing page, we can have something called paths. They don't go anywhere, but maybe some people don't know little butterflies. They think maybe it's an insect collection. So we make sure we say daycare Allen. So that shows up right there. Okay. You can also have images with it. But the heart of this thing, and you can see these ads morphing and changing, is we can have up to 10 headlines and 5 descriptions, as well as images and links like these site links and the phone number. And you can see this ad morphing and changing. Why is it changing? Because the Google bidding artificial intelligence will most closely match the ad copy of headlines and descriptions with the person's search, and they will optimize it, in this case for mobile, or in this case on desktop. And then we can report out to the client exactly how many calls they got, the duration of calls, and we also encourage our clients, if they have a page where you're trying to get information, to have that page linked to Google Analytics in a way that we can report it in tracking. Now, a lot of your clients, Leslie, use these widgets from Calendly and other places. Yeah. I have to break the bad news. While those widgets are oh so easy to put into your website, right, you don't own Calendly. You don't own some of these other widgets. And so you will not be able to have access to the analytics on the back end. So this is part of what I help advise clients to do, so we can get really good conversion tracking and report right down to what people entered in Google. I don't know who the people are, but I can see the searches, block them, see if they submitted a form or made a call. And if they haven't blocked their number, I can report the exact phone number and the duration, as well as the keyword in the ad they saw.
Okay. All right. So basically the takeaway is some of these widgets like Calendly can skew the data.
Well, not skew, but let's put it this way. If you, let's see if I can get a good analogy going here. If you rent an apartment, you are not the landlord. So you own your domain. In
Yeah.
your case, Leslie, it's lesliebytel.com, right?
Right.
But if you put a Calendly widget into your website, when I click to schedule, I'm now going off of the property
Right.
you own to another property, and we can't get access to the analytics for Calendly. So this is where your web developer and me and your SEO person, whoever you have working, we all need to meet together so that we can take a holistic view of what you're doing. And you may not be able to afford to do all that at once, but most of our clients get to the point where they say, you know what, yeah, I really want to see who's scheduling. So let's get something else where I can actually track it in Google Analytics.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So kind of going back then, to my original question in terms of the CTA.
Yeah.
So
I didn't answer that, did I?
I was gonna kind of like make that leap of logic just based on what you just shared.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you're sending people? Well, I suppose it depends on what the person wants, right?
Well, here I'll show you again some other things that I didn't show the first time.
Okay.
So inside this account where you see these ads, there is also this thing called assets, or they used to be called extensions. So the extensions are the other things that you see in an ad.
Okay.
So we have assets called callouts. They're not hypertext linked. They just show up with the ad. Multi-language, best childcare facility, skilled development. And we optimize these by impressions and clicks, and we can see conversions here too, to help the Google bidding algorithm, again, know what version of the ad with what links to show.
Okay.
Here's another one, openings for 18 to 5 years. And if somebody clicks on that link in the ad, again, remember these ads have the ability, let's go down to this page here, have the ability, if I click on Heather's bio, that's a site link. If I click on make an appointment, it goes right to make an appointment.
Okay.
So these ads have the ability to have these links in them that will, I didn't share that because I forget I'm not sharing my whole screen. I hope that was clear. If not, I can share that here. Let me do it the right way. Share this tab instead. Sorry. Okay. So here's what I was saying and what I wasn't sharing.
Okay.
These ads have site links. These are the site links: program options, Heather's bio, make an appointment, free Zoom consultation. Those are your site links. So that's different from an ad that would be shown without it, and we have the ability to customize these. Here's another call out, camera access for parents. Here's another site link, testimonials. So you get the idea that these calls to action are both in the ad copy itself as well as with these links. And then we have a phone number that can be clicked to call, and we can report the calls, the duration, and so forth. Does that kind of start to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you helped. Well, since we have a testimonial, right? For our mutual client, I'm assuming you can talk a little bit about how you helped her.
Sure. So what I'll do is just show that testimonial here so your audience can see it as it appears on my website under testimonials. So Elisa Bloom wrote this review for us. From the moment Jim started, my practice ramped up with the right people for my services. Highly recommended. So we're really proud of that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Elisa does is she monitors her Google Analytics. She takes monthly meetings with me because my service includes a monthly meeting where we delve into the behind the scenes of the actual account. And then when you connect Google Analytics, this is for another client who does landscaping and lighting on homes, you can actually see the traffic that comes from paid search, from direct entry of your URL, from organic. Somebody asked about referral and backlinks. That's where you can see those here. And then we can track conversions as well. So there's a lot of it. This is the new Google Analytics 4. So your audience will also likely need help with that because Google is getting rid of the universal analytics. So universal analytics used to look like this, and we'll likely get, let's see, share this tab instead.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm learning. So you can see the banner on July 1st. Universal Analytics will be going away, and you'll have to move over to Google Analytics version 4. So Universal Analytics, not that everybody's familiar with it, had different channel groupings. They looked slightly different, whereas the GA4 Analytics, which is this one, am I sharing that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is the Universal Analytics, or excuse me, the Google Analytics 4. Even I get confused. There's lots of things to learn in here. So this is brand new. A lot of us are learning it, but you can kind of see paid search. Again, this is a landscaper. You can see events, conversions, which are things like people putting in written requests, and all of that and more is available in it. Anyway, back to Elisa. She's doing great because she is looking at her analytics every 30 days. She takes a meeting with me, and your audience will always, always know their business and their nutrition practice better than I will. And likely I will always know Google better than they will. So that's where the monthly meeting comes in to fuse our knowledge base. And your practitioners will tell me, no, I don't really want searches for just that type of term. Let's block it. So we block the things they don't want. We emphasize the things they do want.
Okay, cool. Do we want to talk at all about like the other types of ads, like those banner ads or that? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Happy to do that.
I think that's kind of interesting.
So Google has ownership of something called YouTube as well as the Google Display Network. So we'll first illustrate the Google Display Network.
Okay.
We'll go to my screen that is connected to Google. So one of the Google Display Network websites is Wall Street Journal. Another is New York Times. Another one is WebMD. You may have feelings about WebMD one way or the other, but I'll just show it to you guys because it is part of the Google Display Network. And what's interesting to me is, what did I do? I typed in WebMD Health Services, and WebMD themselves, even though they're showing up organically at the top of the page, they are paying Google for pay-per-click ads. Now, why would they do that? They're showing up anyway. That was my search. I think your audience knows. Oh, remember these site links? This is a way for them to show up really more robustly with a Google ad. All right, so now I won't cost them a click. Let's just go to their WebMD page, and let's see what kind of ads we might get served up with. So there's one coming on here.
Yep.
So this is from GOVY, once weekly. Wegovy can help you. So it's a pharmaceutical, it's something, and they are what? On the Google Display Network.
Okay.
Now, some of these ads are going to be what's called retargeting or remarketing ads. And if I go to different places on WebMD, like Aging Well, I'm probably going to get served different ads. So this is a pop-up that's not an ad. It looks like Wegovy is in again on here. But I'm going to also illustrate for you on a different site. Google has over 3 million websites that we can place these banner ads on, and they're very inexpensive. For as little as $10 a day, you can get your banner ads up here. And after you accumulate 1,000 clicks in your audience manager, you will show up as people browse the internet. So I went to AccuWeather. Progressive is in here. I'm kind of thinking to myself that somebody's going to retarget me with an ad, but let's see. if they do, because I know which websites I've visited. Oh, so here, your audience should like this. This is my client, Hout Carrot. So Hout Carrot does a quite robust Google pay-per-click program, but these are retargeting ads. So they've tagged my computer. If your audience goes to AccuWeather, they're not going to see these ads. These ads are personalized to me because I've visited Hout Carrot and I'm now on their retargeting or remarketing list. So what I'm trying to get across to your audience is that the pay-per-click ads, that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong with having these pay-per-click ads. This is sharing this one as well. Here's the pay-per-click ad. But once you accumulate 1,000 people in your audience manager, you can follow people around the internet with these nice banner display ads.
Okay. Cool.
We could talk about YouTube too, if you like, because Google does own YouTube. All right.
Let's do it. Lots of clients are on YouTube. So
here's another audience question. Whoever answers correctly will get a free consultation with me.
Okay.
So who knows what the second most used search engine is?
YouTube?
Yes.
Well, really? Okay.
Yes.
Woo!
So how many of us will YouTube like, wait, how do I fix this? Or how do I, we're going to YouTube for advice and for questions. So just yesterday, I attended the Google premiere from Mountain View of retail trends. And one of the research trends is that 70% of people who are shopping for something will go to YouTube, and that will influence their decision. So let's illustrate this by going to YouTube on my computer, and we'll do some searches.
Okay.
So I will present.
And Cindy, I'll donate my consultation to you. How's that sound, Jim?
Sounds great. So let's go to youtube.com. And we can see the normal kinds of things that people see. And now we're going to do a search. So what are we searching for? Functional nutrition, nutritionist, I don't know. Somebody throw something out.
Let's see. How about something with allergies, since it's spring?
Okay. So we should ask YouTube maybe a question about allergies. What are we going to ask? How do I treat my allergies, or how do
I want to do it naturally without taking drugs.
Okay. So how about allergy treatment? There is, here we go. Allergy treatment and homeopathy medicine. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right, let's see what happens. Now, what are we seeing here? Ad. Okay. So when you have a Google Ads campaign that is on YouTube, which we can do a YouTube campaign, you will get the companion ad with it. And you can see the site links, and you can see visit the site. Now we're going to find out which one of these videos is taking advertising. So some of the big providers that have hundreds of thousands of views will take ads before the start of their videos, because they'll get a residual from Google. Okay. So we've all experienced that. Skip the ad after 5, 4, 3. Let's see if allergy treatment and homeopathy with 54,000 views. Let's see if she's taking ads. So this is a YouTube question. It is an ad by YouTube itself, so that really doesn't count. Let's go back. Let's see if we can find one of these others. Here's somebody with 417,000 views. Let's see if this person is taking ads. So here we have an ad. Okay. Try Slack Pro. So some of you business owners know Slack is a site that helps communicate with teams. You can see the call to action to sign up. You can see over here, there's a little counter, 4 seconds. As I run this ad, it's going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I can skip the ad. If I don't skip the ad and I watch the whole video, then the person who's running this ad will pay a fee. But for literally $10 a day, you can get amazing results. And I will illustrate that for you. So let me go to my clients who sell dog blankets in New York. They've been clients for many years. They've also written me a review, and I'm going to show you how affordable YouTube advertising can be. So I'm going to share a different screen.
Okay.
And I'll illustrate that. And let me get to the right tab. Okay. Share screen, campaign, Tall Tales. All right, so everyone should see Tall Tales, all campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want you to look at is this video traffic brand driving campaign.
Okay.
$10 a day. So in the last 30 days for $301, they've generated almost 77,000 impressions of their ad on YouTube, but they've had 6,570 people start watching the video at a cost per view of 8 cents. Now that may sound like gobbledygook, so I'll try and get a little deeper with this. So in here are the actual videos. And so the video that has been most popular with 15,000 impressions and 2,500 views, costing only $132, is this waterproof blanket. So let's look at this little video.
This
so here
luxurious blanket is designed with real feel fabric that recreates the warm, comforting, and secure feeling dogs had when they were
it will
puppies sleeping
appear with a call to action that can be clicked on. Now we get metrics. 25% of the 2,500 people watched 97% of this 13-second video. 50% watched about 80%, 75, etc. Okay. Now we get even better metrics in here under YouTube Analytics, and this should really be interesting to those of you who like to look at analytics or who study statistics. So we can see here that people start skipping at about 5 seconds where they can skip. Right. So when we run this video, we can see right here, we can stop it where they start to skip. And then we can actually mark that moment to work with you on what you should do differently. But most interesting of all, we can segment your audience where they stop watching by age, segment the audience by gender, okay, and segment the audience by device type, because many of us, including me, have Google TV. So now we're seeing TV screens, desktop, and mobile. So we're getting really good metrics and demographics and information on where the video is working, where it's not working, and it's driving massive branding and awareness for very little money.
Got it. All right. Well, this has been amazing. So interesting. Guys, if you are looking for a strategic partner to help you with ads, I've put Jim's website address on the screen if you want to reach out to him at usmarketing.bz. And yeah, anything else that you'd like to add as we start to wrap up for the day?
I would just say that you should look for a Google certified partner. Remember, you have to click on the badge for them to be legit. And then I would also look at their reviews and see how long they've been in business and what others have to say about them. Mm-hmm. And then if you have questions, I'm happy to talk to you as well and give you my thoughts. If you're already running Google ads, I can do an audit on the ads. Mm-hmm. Remember the example I showed from this morning where the owner had spent thousands of dollars, even though he's a technical guy, right. He didn't know what he was doing with ads. So I am like the ear, nose, and throat guy, okay? I'm not the general MD. I'm not the general agency that does website development and SEO. I'm a specialist. So if you have an inner ear problem, I'm your man. And I'll work alongside of your in-house or other specialists with you to get the most for the least.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's see. Any other comments? Yeah, a couple of people said they joined late. They'll watch the recording. Hopefully we got to all of your questions. All right. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you so very much for joining me today. And a big special thanks to Jim. Really appreciate your willingness to come on and share your expertise with my audience. And we will catch you next time. We'll have to do this again.
Thanks for having me, Leslie. Happy to do it again another
All right,
time. Everyone have a great day.
Have a great day, guys. Great weekend. I'll see you next week. All right. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody.